Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to give a short contribution to the bill before this House, the referendum. This is Cruz, Birthing, Infrastructure, Gambling, and Cannabis Bill 2024. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Deputy Premier spoke and put forward the government's position on this, and the official opposition spoke as well, along with other members of the opposition. But Mr. Speaker, many comments have been made on this particular bill. Previously, Mr. Speaker, the members of this House supported the resolution by a motion again, as the Deputy Premier said, which was constitutionally required and was supported in this House. Mr. Speaker, there were comments to the effect that the opposition was not going to support any controversial bills since we had a minority government. But, Mr. Speaker, the one question I have is, how can the will of the people of this country be controversial? This is an opportunity for the people to have a say on these three very important matters, these three questions. And Mr. Speaker, a referendum is when a question is decided by putting it to the public for a vote. And this is an example, Mr. Speaker, of direct democracy. This is giving the electorate an opportunity to have their say in a very democratic process, Mr. Speaker. This is also a way of enhancing the democratic process of a society and how the electorate can be engaged. Mr. Speaker, it can also be said that the referendum can also be a complement to representative democracy. And by having this referendum, we can settle the questions once and for all. Mr. Speaker, our people in this country are very capable of making decisions to guide our future. And that is what we are giving them an opportunity to do, Mr. Speaker. There are also those who oppose this, and that's their democratic right. But I believe that we must give our people an opportunity to have their say, and we must give them an opportunity to decide on very important political questions as well. Again, as the Honorable Deputy Premier said, the results of this referendum is not going to be binding, but it will also give the next government guidance on what the country is thinking. The Deputy Premier, in his opening debate, laid out the rationale for this referendum, and I support the idea of people having a right to voice their support for or not, but for them to participate in this very democratic process, Mr. Speaker. In caucus, we had a presentation from the Economic and Statistics Office that showed the issues that the cruise industry was facing. My colleague to my right also noted that businesses were closing because of the downturn in the cruise sector and the concerns from people who are making a living from this and how it is affecting their livelihood, Mr. Speaker. One of the other questions on there is the matter of whether to legalize gambling, and a lot has been said about that. And again, Mr. Speaker, this gives our people the opportunity to weigh in on this question as well. But the one that I also have some concerns with is the matter of the cannabis and the decriminalization of the consumption and possession of small amounts of cannabis. And I want to make it clear, Mr. Speaker, I am not supporting the legalization of cannabis. I want to make that very clear. But for Mr. Speaker, for far too long we have ostracized our young people for mistakes they've made. And we have heard of how a police record affects their lives. Can't travel off the island, can't attend the university of their choice, and different other opportunities that they are not able to take advantage of. But Mr. Speaker, I had a visit to the prison last week for a presentation, and I was literally shocked out of my shoes to learn that it is now costing the Cayman Islands government $97,000 a year to house one prisoner. $97,000, sir. But I decided to do a bit of digging, and the Ministry of Home Affairs had noted in a brief from 2017, last year, 2024, they did the brief, and from 2017 to 2023, there were 672 convictions of ganja consumptions. And of that 672, 95 resulted in convictions, 14%. If you look at just the straight line cost of that, that's $9.2 million, Mr. Speaker. And for the same period, there were 857 convictions for simple possession. 106 resulted in imprisonment, 12%. And that straight line cost is $10.2 million. And that is just if they were there just for 1 year, but this study is from 2017 to 2023. So just imagine the cost to the government right now of people, again, on just a simple possession of marijuana. So, Mr. Speaker, while this cost is astronomical, we can then ask the question, how many homes could this have built? How many other social programs that we could have assisted with? So, Mr. Speaker, I just want to leave that out there. I'll close by saying that, as I said in the beginning, there cannot be anything controversial about the will of the people. Thank you, sir.